Alright, hello everyone and welcome to the currently fastest iron farm possible in the game. I will not explain how it works, well, I will explain how it works, but I'm not gonna provide a tutorial at all. First off, because I can't explain, and second off, because it's 1 AM and I can't construct sentences which are understandable without knowing how the farm works in general. Alright, let's get into it. So, a little bit of backstory. 1.14 changed iron farms fundamentally from using doors to beds and villager gossip and all the works. 1.14.3 then introduced a scare mechanic, which we can see showcased right here, zombies scaring the villagers. Quick look around. Right. Zombie scares villagers well, kind of are scared and spawn an iron golem. It's on some spawn block, like those. What block? Doesn't matter, it just needs to be spawnable. It can be overflowed with water. Don't think they can spawn in lava, but you know. There are not too many restrictions on it. 1.14 or 1.15.1 being the best redstone version, as everyone knows. And no, this is totally not a controversial opinion, there's one right opinion on this topic. 1.15.1 allowed to reload the farm to reset the spawning cooldown. One of them. There are two spawning cooldowns. One is the per villager or per scare group. Technically it's per villager, but it gets calculated as per scare group, so we just don't go to details right here. Of 600 ticks, which means 30 seconds, assuming there's no lag, which we always assume it's a perfect world and zero lag for mathematical purposes. Alright, that's 600 ticks. Yes, go to bed. And before that cooldown expires, the same tick, a 100 tick 5 seconds cooldown starts on spawn attempts. So that means we have a 700 tick total cooldown, comprising of a 600 tick and a 100 tick cooldown, which just barely overlap by fractions of a millisecond, which is sad, but doesn't matter because this one was designed to counteract that. So in 1.15 we were not able to get around the global cooldown of 100 ticks. However, we were able to get around the per cell cooldown of 600 ticks by just simply force reloading that cell using the end gateway ports and some fancy minecart magic. Here, this is designed to counteract the 100 tick cooldown. We still have 600 ticks cooldown, which kinda sucks, but whatever. We're working on that, okay? Iron farms don't get designed in minutes. This was the product of a few hours worth of construction and then 40 million ticks testing, which thankfully using tick warp, which means I didn't have to AFK more than a month on that farm. It was like, what was it, like 6 hours? Not too bad. But yeah, this farm design uses portals to immediately remove the golem. Like the same thing it spawns, the golem is removed already. The villagers don't realize they spawn the golem because they are extremely smart creatures. And just pretend that never happened and forget about their global cooldown. You know, just spawn another golem. Why not? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? And we just saw the golem go through here and oh my goodness. So yeah, here's another thing with this farm. You don't see it's working because it's so fast. Right. you just sometimes when your ping's high, like mine's 50 milliseconds right now, that's really not high. Or if the server networking thread lag spikes, which is probably what happened, then you can see a golem sometimes, but that's it. So, we have 600 ticks cooldown. Then the villagers spawn a golem. The golem, I'll explain later why, gets immediately warped into the nether, and the villagers just forget they just spawned one and don't start their 100 tick cooldown, which results in only 600 instead of 700 ticks cooldown, which means a possible maximum efficiency of 116.6 periodic percent on Mojang's imposed maximum value. The last iron farm I designed in cooperation with Eagle Eye 621 got to 99.99997%. Both the video and his channel are linked in the description. And this farm was designed with Zephyro, who messed around with command blocks over there and realized that killing an entity the same ticket spawns causes the villager, or the spawning entity, the caller entity, to just straight on forget about it. If we were to, like, I don't know, mod a zombie to spawn skeletons, and we kill the skeletons the same tick, the zombie would just not start the cooldown. And there we just saw another golem. Now this design, this block, these few blocks here are out of range, but for symmetry's sake they were included in this design. Why would you just remove part of some of those blocks? It looks disgusting. And generally this is aimed to maximize spawning spaces. It's a bit of an issue because golem needs 4 blocks upwards, not 3.5, 4. Which means, like, this being a slab or a full block doesn't really matter, but just looks neater, I guess. We can't lower this by 1 and get a higher probability of spawning on those. No, just doesn't work. So this design only gets 116.0423% out of 116.6 periodic percent possible, which that's not great, but it's, as far as I'm aware, the best iron farm currently available for 1.16, so I'll take it. Alright, now to the way the golem spawning works. Golem, or any entity for that matter, spawns exactly in the middle of a block, right here. Now, if we enable hitboxes, you'll see me, the player, that was a prime example of a golem by the way, me, the player, I am 1.6 blocks wide, which means me spawning on a block will not cause me to go into a nether portal. The golem, being 1.4 blocks wide, just goes a little over the ledge. And let's just simulate that by just stepping to the side, and as you can see, instantly get warped to the nether. And this is disgraceful, please get me out. On the nether side we have a very simple killing system, a cow nudging the golem, which doesn't always work, but it just walks off on its own for some reason, and a lot of iron. Like, this is second recording of this farm because I screwed up audio on the first one and it just didn't record audio, and before that I cleared the chest to absolutely 0 iron and like 9 poppies for the top row. What the heck? That's like 10 minutes of running, maybe a little more, and it's that efficient. Alright. So, portal warps golem out the same ticket spawns, villager forgets about starting the 100 tick cooldown, and there we go, 600 instead of 700 ticks. Mojang, you don't make the rules here, please stop trying. You're making us think an unnecessary amount of time. Just stop trying to patch exploits. You're not gonna achieve anything or something. There are always gonna be dupes and farm exploits and all the works. Now, it is recommended to be done using 2 players because portals, when an entity goes through, only load the area on the other side for 16 seconds, but here's a spawning cooldown of 30 seconds. On average a little bit more, but the cooldown is 30 seconds, which means that there's always going to be unloaded periods in the nether, which causes a lot of lag with reloading the nether and all the works. Just don't. That's really laggy and you shouldn't do that. So just put a player. You can use carpet player command, player spawn. Okay, the player name doesn't exist, whatever. Just use either fake players or a chunk loader or a real player, just anything to load the nether, please. Portals are laggy enough as this because those things are massive lag machines basically, and you don't need to load nether chunks every time. Just please don't. Alright, that's it. Everyone's free to make a tutorial on that because I suck at explaining and I physically can't do blog tutorials, so someone make a tutorial on that please, thanks. And see ya.